Hi, my name is Roger Rindo and I'm proud to serve as the Oconomowoc Area School District Superintendent. I'd like to spend some time talking with you today about the referendum being taken to voters in November this year. This is a process that has been underway for approximately 2 years. We've studied, we have evaluated, we've brainstormed possible solutions with an advisory committee that included parents, faculty, staff, community members, and board members. We surveyed the community in April, and based on that feedback, the school board has pared down the scope of this referendum to one that we believe is consistent with the feedback on the survey and one that still solves virtually all of the instructional capacity needs presented. It also addresses priority maintenance needs and begins to modernize our learning environments here in the Oconomowoc Area School District. During our study, we focused on 3 things and 3 things only. Capacity, room for kids in seats as we continue to grow. We grew by nearly 1,000 students over the last 10 years, and it's estimated that we will grow by approximately 550 more in the next 10 years. While we have some new modern school buildings here in Oconomowoc, we do have some aging facilities. This referendum would address the priority maintenance needs among some of those aging facilities. And as we learn more and more about how kids learn, this referendum would allow us to modernize some of our instructional approaches with the spaces to match. We're excited about the possibilities, and I'd like to talk to you about each of those spaces here today. This referendum touches 5 of the 8 schools here in Oconomowoc. Let's start with Meadowview. Meadowview Elementary was built in 1962 as a monastery, designed to house 150 men. That building now houses over 500 students, as well as nearly 100 faculty and staff. The board proposes to build a new Meadowview Elementary School. We would build that on a new site, approximately 1 mile south of the existing site. While it's only 1 mile, it's an important move because it puts us into the city of Oconomowoc. The cost to operate, in our estimates, the new elementary school would be approximately $15,000 cheaper within the city on city sewer and water and on Oconomowoc utilities than it would be to operate that same school and that same square footage in the town of Oconomowoc. As you can see, there are properties that have potential to be adjacent to us that will create a complex within this area. This area, by the way, is housed on land just between Lake Street and Highway K, just to the west of Snyder Lane. St. Matthew's has long envisioned building a new school on that property, and they're excited about the opportunity to partner with us as we consider this property. In addition, the city has, in their long-term plans, envisioned a regional park in this area. If that park was housed adjacent to our property, all 3 of us, the city, the district, and St. Matthew's, could share facilities and, more importantly, share cost and development. We think that's an important option for us. This building would have a capacity of 675. It would have a distinct student drop-off for buses and a distinct parent entrance for student drop-off. Currently at Meadowview, that's not the case. The current property at Meadowview would be sold by the board, and we're exploring a number of different options. At the end of the day, the proceeds from those sales could be used to address the maintenance issues that aren't being addressed by this referendum. We could also use those dollars to fund the long-term capital maintenance fund. This was established by the state 2 years ago, and our board took immediate advantage of that. And in the last 2 years, they have set aside $1.1 million into what's known as Fund 46. By law, we can't access those dollars for 3 more years. Once we can, we plan to use those dollars to also address the unmet capital maintenance needs not put forward in this referendum. Let's move on to our next elementary school, Exuma Elementary. Exuma was opened in 1956 and as little as 10 years ago had under 100 students in enrollment. Today, the enrollment at Exuma Elementary exceeds 250. We have our 4K and 5K students in classrooms in the basement at Exuma. Our 4K classroom has no windows. We also have systems out there that have exceeded their useful life. Our heating, ventilation, and mechanical systems have exceeded their useful life, and in fact it's difficult to find parts for those. What we propose in this referendum with regard to Exonia would be two parts, some new construction and renovation of the existing school. As you can see in the orange sections, these are the new spaces that are being constructed. We would move the 3, 4K, and 5K classrooms up to the main floor. We would also build a new office space with a distinct and secure main entrance, and we would also add a distinct cafeteria. Exuma Elementary is the only of our 5 elementary schools that does not have its own cafeteria. Currently, the gymnasium at Exuma Elementary functions as the assembly space, the gymnasium for physical education classes, and the cafeteria, often all in the same day. The cafeteria would help to solve that issue. We would also renovate the existing spaces at Exuma. They wouldn't be built new, but they'd be good as new when we were finished. They would gain new finishings, new fixtures, and new carpeting. We still have 2 portable classrooms at Exuma that would be retained for use while they were still in good working order. This project would begin design immediately after a successful referendum, and we would begin construction and break ground shortly after school was out of session this June. Construction would take place over 2 summers and next school year, and the building would be completed in August of 2018. So let's move on now to the Oconomowoc High School. This is the building that had the most significant reduction in scope based on the feedback on the survey. As you can see, at the main campus there are only 3 spaces that are being renovated. Under the number 1, we have 3 classrooms that will see renovation. Our construction trades classroom will have light renovation and an overhead door put in. Our manufacturing classroom will be renovated. And we will be bringing back the automotive space that is currently an engineering classroom, and it will be retrofitted with modern automotive equipment and automotive design. Those 3 spaces will be ready for students in August of 2018. The other space connected to the Oconomowoc High School is what we're calling East Campus. We're excited about this opportunity for a number of reasons. The board purchased the former Wilkinson Clinic in an attempt to reduce the cost to gain capacity at the high school. Currently, the Oconomowoc High School is beyond capacity, and that capacity increase will grow over the next 10 years. For example, last year, at the end of the year, we had 1,575 students here in Oconomowoc High School. This fall, there are 1,648. That number will continue to grow to approximately 1,825 over the next 10 years. It was important for us to find at least 300 additional seats at the Oconomowoc High School. By renovating the Wilkinson Clinic into flexible classroom spaces, we can move programs from the main campus to the East Campus and create additional seating at the Oconomowoc High School main campus for additional sections and for students. And we can do it at a reduced cost than building new. We're excited about the programs that we'll offer at the East Campus. Programs that include digital design, biomechanical engineering and health sciences, for example. The High School of Business program, including global business options, among many others. We think these opportunities, taught in conjunction with partnerships in the business community, with mentors, providing authentic project-based learning opportunities for students, will prepare them well for the world of work and the world of post-secondary education. Also at the Wilkinson Clinic will be space renovated for the district offices. Currently, those offices are housed at Meadowview Elementary. Again, this is a cost-saving move on the board's part. Rather than adding new square footage to the new Meadowview for our offices, we found space that we can renovate at a reduced cost and move all of our district offices and storage into the Wilkinson Clinic as well. We can share space with the East High School campus. We can use presentation spaces currently envisioned for East Campus for our boardroom, thereby maximizing the square footage available to us by multi-purposing. The walk to the East Campus from the main campus is approximately a quarter mile. This walk is no longer than the walk from the south parking lot to the field house. The path will be paved, it will be lit, there will be fiber running underneath it so that we can have it cambered for security purposes. We think that this is another way to prepare kids for post-secondary life and in the world of work. We would begin planning for the East Campus renovation in March of 2017, and that renovation would be complete for students in 2018. The district office space will be the last space to be renovated. We want to prioritize all of our projects for students first and ensure that those projects are done and done well and done on time, and then the renovation of the district office would be complete in the spring of 2020. So let's talk about the remaining two schools that will be positively impacted by the referendum, and that's Park Lawn and Greenland Elementary. Both of these schools were built in the 1950s. Both of them have original heating, ventilation, and mechanical systems in them. This referendum would allow for a full replacement of heating, ventilation, and mechanical systems, and it will allow for cooling systems in both of those schools. We'll also replace portions of roof at Greenland and Park Lawn, and we will update our fire alarm systems. These two projects will be the first projects completed. We would begin planning immediately upon a successful referendum, and that work would be finished and ready for kids when they come back to school in August of 2017. I'd like to talk about the cost and the financing of this referendum now. Based on the resolution, the board cannot borrow more than $54.9 million. From a cost perspective, at $54.9 million, the estimated tax impact is $40 per $100,000 of home value. Those estimates are based on conservative interest rates ranging from 3.25 to 3.75%. The first time homeowners would see that increase would actually be on their December of 2017 tax bills payable in 2018. So upon a successful referendum this November, there would be no increase based on for the new referendum dollars on the tax bills coming in the following month in December. The board, as they scaled back the overall projects based on the feedback from the surveys, reduced the cost of the referendum by approximately 40%. As such, they also reduced the cost of the tax impact by approximately 40%. Again, $40 per $100,000 of value. On a $300,000 house, that's $10 a month. You may have heard me say that strong schools and healthy, vibrant communities are inextricably linked. You simply can't have one without the other. We are fortunate in Oconomowoc that we have strong schools and that we have a healthy, vibrant community. We're confident in the work that we do, and we're excited about the opportunities that could be presented to us in the future upon a successful referendum here in November.